Hey guys, Red Wolf here. So I still want to talk about some old Saturday morning cartoons. Not just action, but any Saturday morning cartoons of all genre. Since there are still a lot of shows I want to talk about, I'll try to do this every Saturday morning as best I can, even with my Cartoon Friday reviews. Though I can't guarantee I'll be consistent with this series as I'm pretty busy in my personal life. So this request came from Azel98, who requested me to review this show a little while back, and that is Peter Pan and the Pirates. Now, Peter Pan and the Pirates is an animated series based on J.M. Barrie's Peter Pan that originally aired on Fox Kids from September 8th, 1990 to September 10th, 1991. Repeats for the show continued to air until September 11th, 1992. A repeat of the series' Christmas episode aired on December 25th, 1993. The series then reran on the weekends from November 4th, 1996 to March 28th, 1997. Reruns were then shown on Fox Family in 1998. Now, this is actually a long-forgotten gem from the 90s. I haven't seen many people talk about this series on YouTube, besides the Nostalgia Critic who talked about this in his 11 animated shows video, and a YouTuber who goes by the name of B-Mask. And I have to say, this show deserves a lot more recognition than it got, and one I'd say is better than Disney's Peter Pan. It's considered a more adult take on Peter Pan. The show focuses on the pirates as much as it did for Peter Pan and his friends. The world of Neverland is a fun, magical place, but also a very dark and dangerous one. First, I must say, the idea of a kids' TV show based on the future adventures of Peter Pan and his lost boys is just plain brilliant. There's already a wildly known and beloved story available, plus the endless room to invent and innovate. The story is already ripe in the symbolism and meaning, and engaging characters to be further developed. It's just too bad it didn't last very long. But I'd love to see the concept revived and well done. Second, the theme music is amazing. It's absolutely perfect for the subject matter, and suitably thrilling. In fact, the music is heavily inspired by the theme music from 1940s Errol Flynn swashbuckler, The Seahawk, which in my opinion is one of the best pirate movies ever. Now, Peter Pan is one of my favorite fantasy stories when I was a kid. Just the concept of flying, fighting pirates, and being on an island where every day was an adventure. Or you could simply do whatever you wanted. It was also imaginative and beautiful. The story also has a universal effect. On one hand, for kids, it's a great escapist adventure, and for adults, it really makes us remember what it was like to be young, and the subconscious desire to stay that way despite it not being forever. This show is also one of my favorite animated shows that is also under the radar gem, which isn't underrated or overlooked, but as time went on, it has become forgotten. The animation I think is great from the character designs. I really love the amount of detail to it. Sections of the land are always different, where in one section it's a place of ice, another ongoing carnival, and other sections I don't want to give away. It's kind of like the world of the video game of Zelda, where there is just something different a mere distance away. They really made it seem like Neverland was a place where anything could happen, adventure was at every turn, and anything was possible. The action is also very good. I think it's very well choreographed, and I even liked how they handled the flying. I really love how they handled the story. They made it fun, but they weren't afraid to get at some of the dark aspects of the story, which helped tackle some of the Freudian themes on coming of age. Our conflicting desire to stay innocent and young at the same time, to an unavoidable knowing more about the adult world, to grow up and not be innocent forever, but also to simply stay in touch with the child in ourselves. The spirit of the characters and the universal Barry built is honestly portrayed better in this series than Walt Disney's portrayal. Pan is perpetually forgetful and selfish. Having never had those traits curbed by adults, he simply wants to be a child and have fun. And Tim Curry is absolutely incredible as Captain Hook, who, while having his humanity at certain times, is also one of the cruelest villains ever to put animation. And this show has some very memorable episodes that I think really show how much the animation was taking the next step. I like how at times the show is multi-focused, where it's not always about Peter Pan and Hook, but sometimes even Wendy, John, Tinkerbell, and others. which I feel give these characters more to do, but most importantly, a certain sense of depth and emotions. But, anyways, some episodes were just fun escapist adventures, but there were others where the show can really take a bit of unfun turn, or even just play with the convention. One episode, we learn the origin of the rivalry of Hook and Pan, and it's just a tragic story of the terrible misunderstanding. Another is where Peter Pan inadvertently traveled in time and took Jane, who is Wendy's daughter in Neverland. But my favorite is the only two-parter episode, which to me we see the darkest episode ever, where we see Peter Pan grow up and Neverland is dying. And what's interesting about this episode is that it's actually more of Tinkerbell's story, and we truly see how strong her feelings for Pan are and the way they are more. I loved this show as a kid, and I still do now, which is why this series will never grow old. This is definitely an underrated gem from the 1990s, and one you need to check out. Peter Pan and the Pirates gets a 9.3 out of 10. This is Red Wolf signing out, and I'll see you next time. Peace.